The land of Eternum is a wild, mystical place with a never-ending tide of dangerous inhabitants. From vicious wildlife to undead pirates, massive monsters, or even your fellow adventurers, there's almost always a reason to keep your weapon at the ready. Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Forge and Fury alpha update that took place yesterday. So let's see what New World has to say. Since playtesters first arrived in New World, we've taken a massive amount of feedback on our combat systems. In an alpha update released yesterday, we made changes to combat that we'd like to talk about, and we'd like to share our larger vision moving forward. You can read the patch notes or keep reading for a high-level view of the player feedback we received and our plans for addressing it. So, let's do that. But first, let's look at this very interesting image here. Look at this. What could this guy be holding? It looks like a gigantic axe. That's what it looks like to me. The other one has this hatchet. So you can see how big it is compared to the regular hatchet. Looks like a two-handed weapon to me. Why did they put this here? Is it a new weapon? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Maybe they're just like trolling us. Could it be a new addition to the game? I don't know. Well, I do know, but I can't tell you. Our vision for combat. At the highest level, we have 3 design pillars for combat in New World. Skill-based, action-oriented. We want to emphasize positioning, timing, and aiming in a fast and fluid combat setting that allows player skill to shine on the battlefield. Attacks from both players and enemies should have a level of commitment and weight to them. Melee attacks should have appropriate responses from characters which encourage active defense strategies in encounters. We want to encourage creativity within the system to find the build that is right for you and your particular playstyle. Our goal is to design and tune the system to reward a wide range of builds and strategies. So what all that means is they want the combat to be more fluid, more responsive, and faster. And they want the attacks to be more realistic. So if somebody hits you with a heavy attack, it shouldn't just bounce off you. It should feel like a heavy attack. Like you just got hit with something big. They're also saying they want to balance all the different weapons so you can use different weapons. For instance, a hammer against a spear or something, and it feels different. They don't all just feel the same. And that's what they're working towards. Now look at this other interesting image here. What could this guy be holding? You see the one guy on the right with a big old axe. Looks like a double-headed axe. The guy on the left is holding something weird. Like a log or a... Looks like a giant forearm guard. What is that thing? It's very interesting, isn't it? Very mysterious. What's going on with the graphics in this blog post today? So mysterious. I can't tell you what it is. I'm not allowed. Recent changes. Player feedback is an important piece to helping us realize our vision for combat. While feedback varies on perspective and preference, there are some major trends and themes to what we've been hearing from players. Below are some of the biggest points of feedback we have received, as well as the steps we have either taken or will be taking to address them. Stunlock. It says a whole bunch of stuff about Stunlock. It's very confusing. Basically, sometimes people hit you and it stuns you, and that kind of sucks if you're the one that's stunned. They're working on that. They're making it better, although yesterday, well, I can't tell you what happened yesterday, but well, maybe I can. I was stunned. That's not a giveaway or anything. Somebody knocked me senseless for a while. It was a big purple ghost. Anyway, moving on. Players want to use their abilities more, aka goodbye global cooldown. If you remember a couple of videos ago, I was against removing the global cooldown, and I kind of freaked out a little bit. Well, it's not that bad. I like it, actually. And that's what it says in this paragraph. It says, while we continue to monitor how this is affecting combat and iterate as needed, the feedback from our current alpha testers has been generally positive. And yes, I approve as well. My feedback is also positive. Weapon block and skill hit detection needed improvements. Sometimes with the bow and arrow, it would shoot to the left, and now it shoots where it's supposed to. Weapon block and skill hit detection needed improvements, and it got it. According to this blog here, it's getting it. Weapon balancing is crucial. While the hatchet was far and away the worst offender during the preview event, weapon balancing is always going to be at the forefront of mind when making changes to combat. So if you remember a couple of blogs ago, maybe last blog or 2 blogs ago, they said they debuffed the hatchet. That's so they can balance the weapons better, so there isn't just like one weapon that's better than everything else. So some weapons are good in some circumstances and against certain monsters, and other weapons are better in different circumstances against different monsters. Basically, that's what that says, and they're continuing to refine that. AI was able to interrupt players too frequently. We want PvE encounters, player versus environment, to feel challenging and have real threat. Too many enemies were too good at interrupting players, which could lead to combat feeling less fluid. I remember that. And they're fixing that. They're working on that. Healing other players is surprisingly hard, was it? I haven't played the healer yet. I haven't tried to heal people yet. In our November alpha release, we introduced targeted healing to make the life staff easier to use when playing in a group. Okay, I don't usually use the life staff, but okay, that sounds good for them. Good for those people that do use it. Body blocking makes range damage inconsistent in group play. There were some complaints about this in the pre-alpha. Let's see what they did to it. We currently don't allow players to shoot through each other. However, we recently introduced the dynamic scaling function for enemies. Elite and other high-profile targets are now easier to hit at range, even when engaged in melee combat with other players. I did not do a bunch of group fighting, but body blocking never bothered me. You just said go around and attack from the side. What's the problem with that? Seems realistic. You wouldn't shoot your friend in the back if it was real life. Why would you want to do it in a game? Ability input needs to allow players to react to changing combat conditions. Today's update includes a cleanup of input buffers, which should make ability use more consistent and allow players to better react to new developments on the field of battle. We'll continue monitoring the situation to see what other changes may be necessary as time goes on. So it's going to save a record of your key presses and then execute them when it can. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's going to feel weird, but I haven't tried it, and I don't want to poo-poo it if I've never tried it. It's a very interesting thing here, though. I wonder how that's going to work. Looking ahead, we will continue to refine combat by adding a larger variety of weapons. That's very interesting. What a coincidence that they wrote that in a blog post with a picture of a giant axe in it. What could that mean, I wonder? Fine-tuning abilities and skills, making adjustments to existing systems, and adding new systems to push the envelope even further. Be sure to check out the December Alpha release notes for a detailed breakdown of today's changes. As we continue development, we'll keep you updated on our social channels and website with future updates. With love, Amazon Studios. And I'll keep you updated too if you subscribe to this channel. That's the blog post for today. Stay tuned to this channel for more info and more fun. If you enjoyed this show, be sure to subscribe because I have new videos every week. Thanks for watching.